Hello everybody, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes live stream! I'm very excited, and I'm your host, Offlineable, but in my guild I go by Sarth Didius. Joined with me today are two wonderful guests, the first of which is the first guest I ever had on my Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes live stream, and I haven't been able to get him on for a while because he's a busy bee. But I'm very excited to have him back again today. Welcome back, Mr. Nickar. How are you doing?
Oh, thank you, and thank you for having me back on. Yeah, holidays got really busy for me. Cat had surgery, but I'm glad to be back.
Oh man, cat had surgery. Yeah. Well, yeah, that happens. Is it recovering well?
It's recovering well. Yeah. Long story short, it wasn't getting enough blood flow to its hip, and so she had to. They had to basically cut it off and then replace it with muscle, and that acted as a surrogate joint. It's really interesting biomechanically. I talk a little bit more about it on my show. You can go check it out, but we'll plug that later, right?
Oh, absolutely. So actually, you know, we're gonna plug you right now.
Okay,
Mr. Nickar, you've been a busy bee, but what is something you've been doing lately, and specifically, maybe even today, before the stream?
Sure. So I actually host a podcast called Human Factors Cast. We air every Monday nights. You can go check us out wherever podcasts are found, or at humanfactorscast.com. We talk about kind of how our our human element is ever changing in this digital world, and we kind of explore psychology, engineering, and biomechanics, and kind of discuss some kind of unique topics, kind of like today's topics. We kind of talked about how Cali Burger is having this new facial recognition kiosk in their stores, and the Amazon's new patent about trying on virtual clothes and mind control VR games. So go check us out if those kind of topics interest you. That's the kind of stuff that we talk about on the show.
That does sound pretty interesting. I have checked out a few of your podcasts before, and definitely, if any of those topics sounded interesting, you guys should go check that out. It's very cool. Let's see. We've also got another guest on the stream right now. He's been a very quiet boy. He's been waiting his turn to speak, and because he is the mythical Anditesh Ordo, who's been on the streams before. He's been on the stream a few times, and he makes some wonderful content. Welcome to the stream, Mr. Anditesh.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yep, it's Anditesh Ordo here.
Anditesh Ordo.
And yeah, it's been like, yep.
So yeah, do you make anything and put it on the internet? Tell us about that.
Oh yeah, I make a lot of different videos. Like I do cover Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes current updates. I also cover just like what if scenarios of different factions or characters that could be added into the game to change it up. And I have my different little thoughts and ideas for improvements towards the game itself. And as well, I do other videos. I've done some Magic the Gathering videos, so yep.
I've checked
Come check it out.
Yeah, I've checked out some of Anditesh Ordo's videos before, and actually the whole reason I met him, or virtually met him, was because I was doing my own project and I was researching stuff about it. And when I found his channel, I thought he had so many interesting things to say that I decided, you know what, I got to have him on like a live stream where I can talk to him, get some ideas for my video that I made, and it was really cool. And ever since then, it's just fun doing this kind of stuff. So I like doing it. But anyway, are you guys ready to play some games? You guys, should we start it up?
Let's do it.
All right, let's start it up.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go, guys. We're playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Here we go. I'm just gonna open some data packs real quick. Okay, here we go. Stage 1. Okay, here we go. Ready? Spin.
Like Star Wars.
Come on. Give me those shards. Give me those General Kenobi shards. Come on.
This is not Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. What are you
You're
doing?
on the wrong game. You misclicked. You misread.
Wait,
is this
what?
Gambling? What is this?
Wait, no. This is Galaxy of Heroes. You guys, I mean, I'm just opening some data packs before we start. Is that okay?
This is not data packs. This is like some gambling bullshit. What is this?
Oh, what? No,
Yeah,
come on, guys.
oh, no.
Like, okay, hold on. Look. If I go back, it's everyone's favorite Star Wars. Yeah, okay. I don't want to buy any crystals. I don't want to buy any crystals because look, you got You got Ayla Sakura. You got
I don't know who that is.
You got Jedi Ray.
Yeah, that is
Here's Jedi
cool.
Ray, everyone's favorite
That's
Star
not
Wars
Jedi
characters.
What are you doing?
We don't see that much cleavage on characters in
Yeah,
Star Wars.
That was not Disney Lucasfilm.
Oh no, I mean she's
The only
always been
character was Slave Leia.
she's always been
Those are not
voluptuous.
Slave Leia.
Oh wait a minute. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry guys. I'm in the wrong game. I'm so sorry about that. That's so embarrassing about me. That's very embarrassing. I'm sorry about that, guys. All right, you know what? So before we get started,
That's not Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. What are you doing?
okay, let me get some of this. Let me just open some data packs real quick. All right, come on, give me those General Kenobi shards. Come on, I need those shards. Click faster.
Good luck getting General Kenobi. You have to do a raid, man, to get the Kenobi shards.
Shh. Oh, you can spin them on there. I didn't know.
Oh,
well look at this. I can spin them. Whee! His head's like tilted. Okay. All right. So if nobody could tell, that was just a little gag. I did that just because I'm trying to compare the data pack opening to the gambling. Because if you think about it, like if I just go back here to this game and I'm spinning this, I can spin this and basically get prizes, and it's pretty much all random, maybe set out to pay out on certain things. I'm just going to exit out of that. We don't need that anymore. But if we go to the store and open up some Chromium packs after we scroll through all the other packs that we could be buying, we get this, which is essentially just randomly getting stuff. 90% of it we don't need, and then a little bit of it something that might actually be helpful. So anyway, just a little comparison. Is it really that different? That's something we're going to be talking about today. We've got some cool stuff to talk about today. It's mostly going to be about gambling, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and Pay2Win strategies. I don't know how you call them. But so we've got some of that going on. We're also going to be talking about some legal issues, so it's going to get fairly deep and intense of a discussion, but we're also going to do some fun stuff. But before we get into that, there's a couple things I just want to announce. First of all, if I go in here and check this, I see that, let's see, we got some rewards, whatever. This, if we see this, what are those? General Kenobi shards? This means that our guild has officially beat a heroic tank raid, and that is a very first for our guild. We've never been able to do that before. We finally beat it, and it was some hard work, but we beat it. Let me check our damage on it. Nickar coming in with almost 13 million. I broke 10 million, and then everyone else contributing helpfully.
Boba Bet.
Boba Bet. We've got some
Is this your guild's goal? Is to have actual Star Wars characters, but you change the first letter of each name?
That's yeah, that's our little thing we like to do. Barbar Jinx.
Barbar Jinx.
So yeah, we've got some fun ones. Waste Mindu. Yeah, there's fun ones. I think Nickar, you said there were some other really fun ones. I don't know if our guild has them. Diggs Barklighter. What were some other good ones?
Fun Sack. That's the one that I couldn't.
I think
I
Fun
couldn't
Sack's the
after
best.
that one.
It's so good.
Absolutely.
Gosh.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so before we get into our big topic, also we had that, and that was pretty awesome. So that's pretty cool. Oh, and then also we can't really start a live stream like this talking about and being in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes without bringing up the fact that they just came out with a new update today. Guys, can you tell me what came out today?
It's the first Order Executioner. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't an update, but it was, the kit reveal, and it's quite interesting of a character, for sure. Are you able to pull it up on?
Oh, probably.
The forum?
Oh, the forum. I'd have to go to the forum. Screw the forum. Oh, look, Commander Luke can upgrade, though. Hey, look, it's some stuff I got from Nickar made a donation. Thank you. This is what it's going to, my Commander Luke, so he can be an overpowered beast boy.
Beast.
Always have.
Anyway, you actually know who I really got to upgrade is BB-8 because I had to do the part 3 stage, even though it was 30%. I had to redo it a few times because the tank would only target BB-8 for some reason, who's my weakest one out of the squad I used. And it was really annoying.
What gear tier is he?
He's the only gear 8. I need to get him up.
I just got him to 11.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I had the same problem. I just got him to 11, and it helps a lot.
I modded him with like all health and protection mods, also some speed, but he just would die. So once I get him more buff, I think it'll be better. But anyway, so instead of doing a game at the end of the stream, I actually want to do one throughout the entire stream. I'm not quite sure how it's going to play out, and it might be too difficult, but I think I want to try it. So let's see, I'm going to pull up the score thing on here. So it's going to be a game where you want to get the lowest score possible. So I think I transitioned it on stream there. That made a nice little score counter for us. So essentially the game is a verbal game and also a little bit of, if you do anything like talk for long periods of time, like, I don't know, like a live stream or a podcast, or maybe you give speeches or anything like that, or just want to be more well-spoken, there are certain words and certain phrases that you have to avoid. I discovered a few that I really don't like when I was listening to our last stream, or the last stream I did with Anditesh. So there's, when you don't quite know what to say, or you're still trying to get the words out, sometimes you say a little or or
give yourself 2 counters.
So when you say
3-4 counters.
So when you say those kinds of words, once you start tracking how many times you say that, well, like if you go, Anditesh, if you go back and watch our last stream and just start being conscious about how many times you said or I said you hear it so often and it gets very annoying and you start feeling kind of self-conscious about it. So what we're going to do for a little bit of practice, I don't know if it'll be too difficult or not, we're going to try to have a serious discussion and limit the amounts of ums and uhs we say to a minimum. Every single time someone says or I am going to put it on the score counter, and if somebody else says it subconsciously and doesn't call themselves out on it, or if they do, I want everyone else to verbally crucify them, just like yell it at them, just like, you said call them out.
I don't know how we're going to have a serious discussion when we actually sit there and stop.
Yeah, we need a third-party counter.
We need to be very careful. So I'm going to have to be updating this, and then also
maybe one of us could actually pay attention to the stream, or pay attention to the chat, and then maybe get some assistance from the chat to see if they actually pay attention to all the ums and uhs and whatnot.
Oh, speaking of chat, we've got, let's see, how do we say that? Clarissa Davis. Hello, Clarissa Davis. Welcome to the stream. I can see you now. I'm going to be conscious that you're there.
Actually, that's my wife's account. For some reason, her account's on my computer. So, and I'd rather have her account on my computer than my account because my kids watch, one of my kids watches a bunch of different cartoons and stuff, and it always gets clogged up in history and all that. I just I'll just leave it.
Okay, that's a smart thing. But don't have your kids watch this. This isn't a stream for adults. We drink, we swear, we do adult things like gamble. So we're gonna start that. We're gonna try to do the and counter while we're talking about the gambling. If it becomes too difficult, we'll just stop, and then I'll save a little bit of time maybe at the end of stream to just do like a little hangout session, and maybe we can play it there. But also I'm thinking that the winner, whoever has the lowest ums and uhs by the end of the live stream, I think should do, I'm not quite sure what the prize should be, but my first inclination for a prize would be you get to decide what arena team I use, and also you can change my username for 24 hours. So you can set it to something stupid if you'd like, something funny, like put in one weird character or like a squad that doesn't make any sense. You are allowed to do that if anyone wins, but if I win, I don't know. Clarissa will decide. Anyway,
I'll have to.
Does that all sound good? Does anyone have any suggestions?
That
All right,
sounds good over
say
here.
let's get started. Let's get started on the talking about it.
All right.
Um,
As far as the gambling goes, okay, let's start the counter now. I'm going to try to be very conscious about what I'm saying. I've actually practiced this, and it's very difficult. I will still say and sometimes. So
That's two.
That was an example. Okay, we're officially starting now. I will not even use it as an example anymore. The U word, the U words, I will not even use them as an example. All right, so there's a few things that we want to talk about when we're talking about this gambling issue. Oh, also one more thing concerning the U words. Sometimes instead of saying them, I might pause, and I'm sure some of you will too, because you're going to be very conscious about it. So if it sounds like you want to put something in that blank space, using one of the U words makes sense, but maybe we can use something else like I'm thinking or something like that. Let's get started. I'm going to click this. So concerning, oh my gosh, this is so hard. I want to say one of those so badly. Okay, here we go.
see, for being a serious conversation, we might have to keep it to a conversation after the main topic, so that we can actually just flow through it and then be more conscious. But at the same time, the practice during makes sense. So,
All right, so here we go. I'm going to try. There's a lot of things going into when it comes to gambling and the monetary system in Galaxy of Heroes. There's a lot of places we could also start. Here's a few points that I just want to bring up. There is the controversy with EA in Battlefront 2 with the whole loot box system. Have you guys heard about that? How much?
No. What is that? Much sarcasm.
I only know like super bare minimum because I do not. I don't unfortunately own. Unfortunately, okay. Anyways, there's another one. Man, this is gonna be difficult. Yeah, you threw me off. I kind of want to have just a serious conversation, and we do it after.
Does count? Here's our score so far. 1 and 2. Okay, you know what? This is going to be too difficult.
The trick is to just sit back and watch you guys duke it out.
Actually, yeah, this is discouraging talking on my show. This is okay. This is having the opposite effect. We're just gonna play this game at the end, and we'll play it for like maybe 10 minutes or something. All right,
Let's have a serious conversation about gambling.
And you could say and as many times as you'd like.
Good. Anyways, so going back to the issues with Battlefront 2, I unfortunately don't have Battlefront 2. I only have the computer. I still need to get a better computer. Let's put it that way. Then I'll be able to actually, play Battlefront 2 officially. But until I upgrade my computer, even for recording, I haven't really paid attention much to the Battlefront 2 news. All I just know is there is some issues going on with paywall packs and gambling of some sort, and it's also going to leak into kind of SWGOH a little bit as well. So that's my area of expertise. So you guys will be probably talking about Battlefront 2 a little more than me, from the sound of it. Oh, okay.
Unpopular opinion time. I disagree. So as a yeah, so as a Battlefront 2 player, I have paid for the bonus edition that has given me the same stuff that everyone with the bonus edition has. Does it give me an advantage? Yes. Is it impossible to get to that point as a free-to-play player? No. Is it pay to win? No, because you can still win by not paying. It's ridiculous to call it pay to win when you have somebody who can get the same things. It just takes them longer. And I agree that the argument that EA is using in this case, where they say that, well, people can either pay with their time or their money, that's bullshit. I think that they are trying to obviously cater to the side where it makes it easier for people who have money to just drop it and get this stuff. But is it pay to win? Absolutely not. Pay to win is where it is behind a wall where you can't get past that wall unless you have the money. Now, do I agree that Battlefront 2 had some shady practices and the progression system is fucked? Absolutely. But I think there has been this sort of community response around loot boxes in particular that has been festering for the last couple months. We saw it with what was that title from it was Mordor, Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War. So
Yeah, no.
we saw it with that. We saw it even last year, even a little bit with Overwatch, right? So this loot box controversy has been growing over the past year, and it just so happened that Battlefront 2 was the straw that broke the camel's back. Everyone likes to shit on EA, and that's fine, but as long as they have a reason to do so. Now, I have played many hours of Battlefront, and I have not spent a single dollar on it other than the bonus edition stuff, and I am just as competitive as other people.
I can hear you.
Transition that
Did
in.
anyone screen
No,
hear?
I wonder how long that was off. All right, well, whatever. I think it's off. It was off because okay, so maybe some of the on-screen images I'm not going to be able to show because I put them in a different source, and for some reason when I put them in a different source, it shut off my mic. So I'm not sure how long I was off, but all right, getting back to this. So actually, you know what? Here's also just to provide some visuals for the crew. I'm going to do something that doesn't require a lot of brain power, so that way I can talk and play at the same time and give the audience a little something to watch. I'll do like Galactic War, but while we're doing that, we still heard you, Nick, and everything that you said. I like bringing you on. The reason I actually have all you three of you on, I think I told you guys, but not the stream. We all have paid different amounts of money and we all have different perspectives about this game. I'm coming from the perspective of I have not paid a single penny for this game, and there's not a lot that I think is actually worth buying. I am at a point where I feel like I play it so much I should be buying something, but considering when I look at all the shipments and what, in my judgment of what's worth and what I think value is in this game, I just don't think any of it, most of it is worth buying or is worth the money. Meanwhile, Anditesh is sort of kind of, actually, let's compare you next. So Nick, you are not afraid to spend some money on this game. You've spent some money. You do have Jedi Ray. I'm not going to ask you how much you've spent, but you are willing to spend money on this game.
$30.
Oh, there you go. You spent $30. And then Anditesh is sort of in the middle where he's willing to spend some money once in a while, but he doesn't usually buy too much. So what was the last thing that you bought?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I think some of the last few things I bought was like amounts of $2 and $5 worth of crystals near the end of last year during the Christmas time. I also bought the two $5 starter packs so that I can build up my shard currency. But typically my expenditure is usually a minimum of or kind of ranges between $2 to $10 a month on average. depending on when I get my checks and what and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a small spender. Yeah, that $5 pack.
Right here.
I
Okay.
still say the starter packs are pretty decent. If you do have them all 7-star, at least you're converting them to currency,
That's a
and
good
that way
point.
I could farm the. Yeah, I saw that and I'm like, I might as well do it. So I spent like probably last month because of Christmas, probably like $30 worth, 20 to $30 worth. 10 on the light and dark starter packs, and then some crystals here and there so that I can keep up with refreshes. I know at times when they do the double drops, I like to spend about $2 to $5, or like $5 to $10, so that I can actually get farm either character shards or mods. That's where I get some of my good mods from.
Mm-hmm. And actually, since we're already on that topic, I kind of want to go through what you can actually purchase in the game, and then we can all kind of talk about what we think is actually worth buying, or we can all put our own perspectives on what value we assign to these kinds of things. So if I just open up the store now, let's look at the data cards first. Actually, you know what? We should probably look at crystals first because they all translate to crystals. If we look at crystals, this is a very, very similar page to if you play other mobile games and see this. It always seems to have this part here where it says most popular option, and it's $20, even though I'm not quite sure that's the most popular option. I think they're just saying that because every mobile game says that almost exactly. And then over here we have got the Vault of Crystal, which is $100. That's a lot of money. There's 15,710 crystals in a Vault of Crystals. What can you buy for that? Let's brainstorm. So 15,710 crystals. What can you buy for that much? So we look in here. We've got some
of energy refreshes.
Lots of energy. Okay. We've got.
I mean, you could probably get to 85 fairly quickly if you bought one of those and just started blowing through your energy.
We've got some
that's definitely
shards for characters that might be hard to get, like Kylo Ren, but it's 8 shards are at 640. So if anyone wants to bust out their calculators and calculate how many shards they can afford of unique characters, like this.
I do want to say, if you go back to the crystals really quick, I think it was close to 1,600 for or 16,000 for 100.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you did the $20 5 times, which would be essentially 100, it'd be 14,000. So $100 one, value-wise, isn't too bad. You get a quite bit more than spending, $20 worth 5 times.
Okay, from that sense, that makes sense.
You can get 196 character shards at 80 shards per or 80 crystals per shard with that $100 pack.
Okay, and then how many shards does it take to take a character up to 7 stars? Isn't it 300 or something?
Yeah,
330.
330. Okay, so we can take a character halfway-ish?
2/3 of the way.
Okay.
It would take you 26,400 crystals to get a character just purchasing off the shipments.
So we could almost take, plus the shards that we get for, like, let's say Kylo Ren Unmasked.
Marquee events.
Yeah, the marquee event, and he's at 3 stars, and he's halfway to 4 stars, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's only 25 shards, I think, that you get from the event, right? 10
I think so.
15 for 2. Oh, no, you get a little bit more than that.
You're going to get them at, like, 5 or 6 stars for $100. But you get them earlier, then most people won't have them there. I don't think that's worth it, though. What are you guys feeling?
No.
Right? So there's one point, but maybe there's other things in the game that are worth it. So maybe not character shards is your best bet. Maybe if you want to take them up, like, I just want to get them like a star or 2. Maybe. Let's look at gear. I know gear is very important.
Yeah. I do want to make a quick point.
I've never seen this tab. I've never opened this tab.
Surprise.
I've never opened this tab before because I never look at the things you can buy.
It's
Wow.
been about a year since they moved all the credits and droids and stuff over to the resources when they open that up. That way you can find mod sets and stuff like that. But what I was going to say is I do want to make a point though with people when they do spend money. If money is not an object to you, it's not a problem, not a subject at all. Like you're financially independent, you're making tons of money and you have tons of extra left over, spending on anything in this game shouldn't be a problem. But for the most part, a lot of people, making probably like 40 to 80,000 a year, they got to be a little more budget worthy and make sure they take care of their finances before purchasing stuff in the game. So it all depends on the person, though. I just wanted to make that point out there really quick.
Yeah, that makes sense because I mean, if you've got the money to spend, who are you to judge? You can buy what you want. It's your money. If you have disposable income, you want to buy several $100s worth of crystals. That's your business. So we're just kind of talking about value when it comes to us. And also, let's say if we look at gear. So here we've got the very coveted stun cuffs, and they're priced at $1,400. And so how many of those could you get for $100? You could get a handful of them.
11.
You get quite a
11
few.
point something.
11 point something stun cuffs. So we could say about 11 stun cuffs to give out. That's pretty decent, but you could upgrade quite a few characters with that. Is it worth $100? I'm also no. I tend to be on the side of I don't like, especially for mobile games, I don't like spending large amounts of money. Like anything over $20 makes me uneasy. When I look at some of these deals, I'm way past due to actually spend money on this game considering how much I've played it. The only reason I haven't is because nothing I've seen has been like, oh, this is something worth buying. Like if I saw something like, let's see, oh, they don't have it in here anymore. But there'll be something, let's say this first order pack. If I didn't have many first order characters and I looked at this and let's say there was like the $20 option where you essentially unlock all the characters and get some gear to gear them up. And it's like, oh, paid, 10, 15, $20 for something like that. I might be like, okay, I'm unlocking 5 characters, gearing them up a little bit, and it's a one-time purchase. That kind of makes sense. That might be worth spending money on. That's when I start thinking about it. But when they price that at like 50 and up, that's when I say, that's not worth that much money, in my opinion.
Yeah, to me, my philosophy has always been, look, I spend a lot of time in this game, and I want to support the developers who are creating it, right? And they've put all this effort into it, so I'm okay with spending the same amount of money essentially that I would pay for something like an MMO. It has social components with guilds, with progression. You can work towards all these things, and so my philosophy has always been, I'm okay to spend money on the game as long as it doesn't exceed the price of something like World of Warcraft, where you have a monthly fee. Now, the things that I find most valuable are, like you said, where you get the predetermined number of shards. If you click on that light side pack there, that has predetermined amount of shards that you get for each character, right? So for Han Solo, you have 50 shards. For Jedi Consular, you have 20, and so on and so forth. Those are guaranteed numbers. My problem with the game are the blind box mechanics. So when you are paying for a chance to get X amount of shards from 10 to 330, that to me is exploitive, and it is preying on whales that have all this money to spend.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. The problem, I like consistency and I like knowing my odds if I'm going to play a game where I have to bet. In this case, this is betting. It's not a guaranteed amount. It could be something that's lower. And when you play these games based on experiences in other games, the chances of you getting like a 7-star or even more than just like the basic 10 shards, for example, in here are very low. Like, there's a well into the 90 percentile that you're getting 10 shards when you purchase this. So you said you feel like it does prey on people a bit, and it is a little bit a little kind of a scummy thing to do. Maybe there are better ways to do it, like for example the light packs. You've got to set it, you know exactly what you're getting. When you pay this amount, you pay $5, you get this. That is a basic solid transaction, and I'm all for that. I do like this. If I were to buy something in this game, it's going to be this. It's not going to be anything where it's a gamble, because the odds are that the gamble's not going to go your way. So I don't think it's worth it. So, and it's not just in this game though. So there's a lot of mobile games doing that, as we all know, or if anyone likes to play mobile games, if they check it, that's going to happen. And the reason it's been so popular lately is not only, if we were to use a timeline, we would say mobile, I might say it like this. Mobile games sort of push this sort of concept forward a lot more, because it could be in everyone's pockets, and it was a great way to make money. And eventually so many mobile games had this style of making money. Later, let's see, I think did the Battlefront 2 controversy come out before the Shadow of War?
No, it came out afterwards.
After. Okay. Shadow of War, I think, really got people mad, because now this was starting to bleed into single player games, and people did not like that. I'm being one of them. I do like being able to purchase a game and then owning it. I don't like microtransactions in a single player game. I don't think that makes much sense. I don't feel like there's too much justification for it. And then after that, we had the Battlefront 2 introducing it in. And here's something I really wanted to say. So you had some good points in sort of a little bit of EA's defense. You did point out that yes, they are faulted, and they do have some flaws and some things they probably shouldn't be doing, but generally maybe some people are overreacting to what's going on and not treating it fairly. And then also with Battlefront 2, there was a very interesting comment that I heard, that they were talking to they made an announcement to their investors, and they made an announcement saying that when they disabled the loot box system on launch, they made an announcement to their investors saying this will not significantly impact what's the word I'm looking for? Sales? No, not sales. Not significantly impact earnings. Earnings works. It will not significantly impact earnings, this option being taken out of the game. And people didn't like that either, because it means a couple things. On one hand, if it doesn't significantly impact the game, then it means a couple of things. Either they are lying to their investors, and they're saying it actually does impact, because they said they needed this to be in the game. They wanted this to be a feature in the game. Borderline need it to be in the game. So either they're lying to their investors, which is very bad, obviously. But the other part is, if they do need it, or no, that's if they do need it. That means if they don't need it, then that means they lied to the public. And this is completely just a move to try to just make more money. It's off of more than just sales. So on either hand, it looks very bad for them. Either they're lying or they're, lying. Do you guys, have you heard about this? Have you heard about this?
Yeah, so it's interesting, because there have been several reports that say they backpedaled on Battlefront because they got a call from Lucasfilm, and whether or not, it will impact earnings, who knows. But the fact of the matter is that this, I can't say it enough, this trend in gaming where you have this blind box. Like, the problem isn't paying for content, right? You pay for a content when you buy a video game. You pay for a content when you get DLC. You pay for content when you know what you're getting. The problem is this blind box bullshit that allows companies to exploit the consumer by concealing the odds and making it impossible for a player to sort of know exactly what they are paying for. And there are ways around it that they have sort of devised, right? You pay for crystals, and then you use crystals to do the blind box. So you're not really paying for the blind box with your money. It's a step removed. And there have been studies that show that when you do it a step removed, that's why in casinos you pay for tokens in order to put into the slot machines, and you just don't put in your own money. That's why at Chuck E. Cheese you pay for tokens instead of using your own money. When it's a step removed, it has a different currency and a different value to you, and you lose sight of exactly how much money you're spending. So it's a very predatory thing. But back to this whole, are they lying? Who cares? I think it doesn't matter. If they're lying to their investors or they're lying to consumers, I just think the blind box practice has to stop.
Yeah, it makes me much, much less likely as a consumer to purchase something from a company that I know is lying either to their investors or the consumers. I don't want to purchase anything from them if they're going to be doing that, even though I might very badly want to purchase it. I love how Star Wars Battlefront looks. I have the first one via Origin Access, and it's so gorgeous. It's smooth. It can be fun to play, not all the time, but it has its flaws. But I'm sure the second one is even better. It looks bigger, it looks better, but again, I don't want to buy it because of the system that is and all this controversy that's been happening. I don't really want to support a company that does that. Also, when it comes to regulation of this sort of thing, I know in China they do have a different system. There was some huge thing hitting the market that was very similar, almost completely parallel to what's happening here with concerning loot boxes. It's like this game where you put in a coin and then turn a crank, and then it kind of gives you a random reward. And that was kind of being introduced in almost every mobile game, and it was a huge source of income. And the government, the Chinese government, had to step in and say, it's becoming too much like gambling. It's predatory in nature, and it's also being directed towards kids, which if you ever want to get politics and get people sided on an issue, usually the thing to say is think of the children. If it's affecting kids negatively, people are more likely to agree with you on that sense, and they want to protect the kids. Nobody wants to hurt kids.
You're sort of an expert on that too, because you're an educator, right?
You could say that. I do speech therapy. I've also done ABA therapy for kids on the spectrum. So I am aware of that. But and then also, on the other hand, though, I'm not legally savvy very much. So one thing I did want to point out is I watched the podcast. His name, let's see, Robert Morrison. I think it's Robert. I hope I didn't butcher that. But he has a podcast. It's called Robot. I should really pull it up on screen. Let me see if I can pull it up on screen without ruining everything. Gambling references. Ryan Morrison. So Ryan Morrison has a Robot Congress podcast where he's known as the video game attorney. And since he's an attorney, let's see if I can pull this up real quick. Okay, there we go. So I pulled it up real quick just so people could see it. So it's the Robot Congress podcast. He's an attorney, and he works specifically in this realm of video game content and the legality of certain things. So like loot boxes, for example, is like the hot topic. So a lot of people will come to him for legal advice, you know, if they pay him. But all the stuff that he's talking about on the podcast, he can't say is real legal advice because that goes against, it's sort of like a code that I explained that terribly, but it's sort of like HIPAA violations. Like us, like Nickar, I know as a researcher, like we had to follow the HIPAA rules. So it's similar to that. They have their own HIPAA sort of, and they're not allowed to give legal advice outside of that, outside of like their clients or official legal advice. But anyway, he does a podcast, and it's very, very interesting. They say it way better, like 100 times better than we could ever say it. Also, that I noticed the ums and uhs were very low when watching it. Very important. But anyway, so they talk about this kind of stuff, and it's so interesting to get a legal perspective about it from someone, essentially a professional. And they projected that due to all this controversy surrounding it and the way current things are, that this sort of system that we're seeing now with loot boxes is not going to be in place for much longer, at least without regulation. That it's all going to change within the next, like he says he expects it within the next 5, I think he said about 5 years. You'd say in about a handful of years, we should expect regulations on this, and it's going to look a little different. And I know actually with Arnold and Mobile Gamer, they released a video recently concerning like a bunch of top changes that they'd like to see, and one of them was release the drop rates on shards and stuff and packs. Did you guys watch that video?
I had a chance to watch it.
So one of the points they said, yes, was they should be telling players like what their chances are for getting that. And in China, they do have this regulation. That was one thing they had to step in and do, is say, hey, if you're going to have people be buying these packs, you have to release the drop rates on it. And I think there is actually a Chinese version of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes where they have the drop rates released, but they said it is different. The drop rates are different or something. So we can't use it as a direct parallel. Oh, Apple
also, yeah, they recently announced that they are going to start requiring content creators to disclose random boxes, the blind box odds as well. So that's why there's this big push, or at least it's being talked about a little bit more now, is because of the move that Apple has made. They are basically striking up this conversation among the community. Because if they disclose it on the Apple system, does that mean they then have to disclose on Android as well? And then what will happen to the business model once it is disclosed, and how will these paid options change once this information does come out?
Yeah, and I know we're all kind of shitting on, drawing a parallel between like Galaxy of Heroes and saying like, oh, look at these drop rates and everything, this is awful. But honestly, I don't think it's, in Galaxy of Heroes, it's not that bad compared to certain other games. And also, it could be a lot worse. Like, if they really wanted to make this a gambling game, they would have things like, oh, every time you do a territory war, all the guild members bet on how fast they're going to win or how many territories they can take, and then you put down in-game currency like credits and stuff. Like, they could go that far and do that kind of stuff, but they're not going to, because it's not really meant to be a gambling game. Like, they have this stuff just to make money, but it could be a lot worse. So just with a grain of salt, even though we are kind of shitting all over it, on the other hand, it's still not that bad compared to certain other places. And also, I thought it was interesting with the podcast, and also with their other various vocal points concerning the whole loot box controversy. I know some of the ones that I saw while doing my research was the Angry Joe show. That was a big one. GameSpot did one. Total Biscuit was making videos about it. IGN. Someone called Jim Sterling, who I thought had some pretty extreme views. He thinks it's like the devil's work. But it's interesting. And also Boogie2988, another big YouTuber. So those guys have been pretty vocal about this issue. And if it's getting gamers to get this vocal, it is pretty important, I think.
Yeah, I do agree that the Galaxy of Heroes would be nice to know kind of the drop rate, so that, you know, if I want to spend the 1,690, however much it is to try to get like shards, I'll know exactly kind of what to expect. But to me, I feel like it is kind of expected in some way with Galaxy of Heroes, because a lot of the times all you have to do is expect the low amount, but at the same time, that's a very expensive cost for crystals to get character shards, which is why it takes some people to get one character from 3 stars up to 7 stars, and it takes about $1,000 to do that at times, depending on the drop rate. And they could work on the drop rate too a little bit, and still like write in, you know, the chances of what you're going to get, so we can actually see it a little better. That way they don't have any problems. They're ahead of the game, kind of like what Mobile Gamer and Arnold 2 was talking about at the end of their video. I think it was like our last point, number 10 or 1, whatever. But they should actually put that chance rate in, so we kind of can see exactly what we're going to have a chance of getting and what not.
Yes. If these sort of regulations start coming in a few years, maybe 5 years, what do you guys think how do you think it's gonna change Galaxy of Heroes? What do you think that's gonna look like? What's gonna be different?
Nothing.
Nothing? All right, we've got a nothing.
Yes. Nothing.
What do you think?
I personally think that it would be, like I said, they'll probably just have the chance rates, and they may maybe change the drop rates a little bit. But other than that, it's not too different. I kind of agree with Nickar. It's not going to be too different. What we might also see more of is maybe increased purchase packs, where you spend like $20 for 80 shards, or $20 for 100 shard, or not 100, but like 50 shards, whatever the amount is. We might actually see more of those type of packs pop, so they can make money. But outside of that, it's not going to change too much. I don't see it changing too much.
I will agree. They probably introduced something that's a little bit more for sure what you're getting for your money. When I say nothing is going to change in terms of user behavior, and as well as odds. That, you know, they're not going to change their odds. It is what it is. The user behavior will not change. Those people who are still buying will still buy. The people who are adamantly against pay-to-win packs, if you want to call them that, then they will not buy. The user behavior will not change.
Interesting. So as far as those points, I agree with you guys. Oh, poor Coruscant Underworld Police. His team didn't make it. That's okay. We'll throw in another one.
Correct.
Yeah. I guess you know, guys, I'm starting to think Coruscant Underworld Police, maybe he's not the most viable character. If you didn't see last time, Nickar, we did our end gag was to do make a team around making Coruscant Underworld Police good. So that was the team that we used, and it's debatable whether everyone else just carries him or whether he actually contributes. But anyway, he's probably
he actually weighs down.
Oh, well, there we go. So, oh god, I probably shouldn't have gone on that tangent. How it's going to be different? I agree with you guys on pretty much all your points. As far as what's different, though, I think there is going to be one difference. They're going to have to decide what the rating is. I think the rating is going to be important, because if there is gambling in the game, it's probably going to require an M rating or something, because you have to be an adult. So
AO.
Or is it AO?
It's AO. M is 17 plus.
Okay, so it's going to have a different rating. So that's going to force Galaxy of Heroes to have a different approach to it. They can either change the way the loot boxes are, so that kids can play it, or they're going to have to not change anything, or maybe even make it more adult-like and just decide what their target audience is. So if they see that, you know, there aren't that many kids playing the game anyway, it's usually like mid to older people playing the game. So let's just target those audiences. So maybe they will say like, okay, now it is AO kind of
Yeah. Let me jump in here really quick because I just went to the ESRB ratings board, or ES ratings board, and looked at their ratings, and adults only is listed as content suitable only for ages 18 and up, may include prolonged scenes of intense violence, graphic sexual content, and or gambling with real currency.
real currency though.
Yes, but if you have to purchase, so there's some really interesting gray area here, right? Because you get rewarded crystals for performing well in Arena and Fleet Arena. And while that can be, they can argue that there's not, they give you that currency, but you can still purchase that currency with real currency. And so who knows where that fine line lands? And I think we'll know a little bit more after some of this legislation passes and after, you know, government gets their hands on it. We'll know a little bit more.
Absolutely. That kind of stuff is covered in that Robot Congress podcast. They do get into that because it is a difficult gray area. So let's see. We've talked about a lot about that. Go ahead.
I just thought of one thing they may actually think about doing, and it's a way to make it seem like it's not gambling, but it still kind of would be. Is the packs where you get not crystals, character shards from. One thing they could do is put like a minimum 5, maybe 10 character shards that you're guaranteed to get, and then anything else is kind of a random amount that you get. So you could technically get like, say, 10 shards guaranteed and then 330, and all you do is get the extra 10 shards go straight to Shard Shop. But that might be a way where they would get around some of the gambling aspects because you know you're guaranteed 10 shards.
Yeah, it'd be
So-
effectively the same. They just alter the phrasing, which happens a lot once law is passed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or add some other little reward that you're guaranteed to get, like 125,000 credits. Something like that. So you're guaranteed to get something, and then anything else will give you something more. Which I think would be kind of nice, in my opinion, and at least so you can actually get, you know, you're getting a certain amount, and then you get anything else as a bonus.
Yes.
Even though it's still high costed.
If these laws do come into effect, it's going to be better for the consumer overall, because that's the point of like the ESRB, is to protect the consumer against anything that could be manipulative or exploitative. Also, what do you think about this separatist squad? Are they viable yet? Please be viable. No?
Sorry, you were breaking up there.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, you are.
Can you guys hear me right now?
Sound like Mr. Robot.
Oh, God.
I know.
Okay, well, let's see. Maybe... Well, I didn't change any of the audio settings. Maybe I
Okay, it's a
can...
little better now.
Maybe it's just like a little lag or something, a little hiccup, hopefully.
So one thing, really quick, I don't want to get on a political platform here, but if you go to consumerfinance.gov, this is a website for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. It's a U.S. government agency that basically makes sure banks, lenders, and other financial companies treat you fairly. I think something like this to protect consumers for sort of these purchasing, you know, like if we had some sort of government regulation for protecting the consumer from shady business practices from companies and not just banks, lenders, and financial companies, I think there could be a reasonable case. And I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if we saw something pop up from this to where that is, you know, eventually implemented down the line.
Oh.
Yeah, I can see that kind of thing happening, especially since like some big financial companies have to be very careful with, because it's a lot of financial companies dealing with like millions and millions of dollars, and that's why they're on there. So I can see that they actually adding, all these other different types of companies on that to make them more viable, or protecting the consumer more or less. If that any of that made sense.
Yeah, that made sense. I keep having to take out my separatist characters and put in new ones because they keep dying. Is this squad viable? Please be viable.
Oh, you could have done a Poggle team, all the Geonosians with either B2 or Arch.
Oh yeah, I could have added some of the other droids. But whatever. I mean, Dooku lead. Remember when he was the meta? How many have you guys been playing that long?
No, I was December.
I was playing. Oh wow, it's coming up to 2 years. Yeah, I was playing since about March of 2016. As when I started, but then I had a couple of months in 2016 when I really did not play at all for like 2-3 months. So I could be a little further along if it wasn't for that break.
Yeah, I think I started around the same time as you. Oh, actually, another thing we can do during this is I can do the territory wars, and I can knock out some squads also while we're talking. So let's see if we can maybe wrap up the conversation about all this gambling and such. So we talked about some of the controversy in the history leading up to all of this political climate surrounding loot boxes and gambling and mobile games. We talked about the state of Galaxy of Heroes and like what items are worth it. Also, how this kind of legal jargon is going to affect it down the road. It could change a little bit, but we don't foresee too many huge changes. Some of the other stuff concerning the legal climate, and also a lot more in detail, very interesting stuff, I'm just going to leave up to that podcast and the legal experts, because they explain it so much better. They explain it very nicely. It's very interesting for anyone who thinks that might be interesting. That's the place to go. So what we're going to do, actually, let me exit out. Maybe I'll do a different war. Get that out of the way. Guild event. All right. So is there anything else we want to wrap up on this? Let's see. We talked about our different definitions of worth and what we find worth. We all have kind of different viewpoints about it, or some of them are similar as well. Let's see. We talked about purchases, and then also we talked about that the devs, they are still making it this game because they do love it. There's love that goes in, but also at the end of the day, they still have to make money. So some of that justifies what they do. Some people might not agree with it, and they say, you know what, there might be other ways that you guys could make money and not this kind of stuff. But the way they're doing it compared to other places, I actually think is fairly okay, because it's you can still acquire these characters and stuff. It just takes a while. It's all about a matter of time. If you've got time, if you've got a year and you don't care, like, oh, I'll just farm those characters and wait and do it the old-fashioned way, you can still have those characters. It just takes forever. It takes a very long time, and by the time you get them, it's probably going to be a completely new, different meta that you're missing out on. But still, you can still have those characters. It just takes a while. So, but if you want to be in the game, in the know, in the meta, and participate in the cutting edge updates as they come out, you are going to have to spend money, and it's probably going to be a little bit more than what I think is actually worth it. And that's personally why I don't participate. But some people think, you know what, it is worth it. I spend a lot of time on this game. I think it's worth it for a variety of reasons. You know what?
Can I just say one more closing thought here?
Absolutely.
So with all this talk about loot boxes and all this shit, like, the number one thing I want listeners of, or watchers, viewers, what I want viewers to take away from this conversation is yes, there needs to be change, but also more importantly, the people who are developing these games are not responsible for these choices. I've seen a lot of hate towards developers saying they're at fault, that they are the ones that are coding up these schemes, and really it comes from higher up than that. It comes from the marketers who have discovered how to hack human psychology into getting people to buy over and over and over, and they've worked with the developers to create a way to make it fit into the game. I just want to make that clear that the developers of the game are really doing their best to provide a game. They want people to play their game. They're not going to try to fuck you over by, getting as much money out of it. Like, if it was up to them, they would, and believe me, I've worked on things like this, they would want to give you everything that you can so that you can see their hard work. They're not the ones trying to fuck you over. It's the people higher up. That's off my soapbox. Okay.
I agree with that. That tends to be the case for a lot of different things. Where I might say that also is also for Battlefront 2. Like, if you were the graphic artist and you put your heart and soul into doing that game, and it's jaw-droppingly gorgeous. It's a beautiful game. And then these higher-up people make this monetary choice that kind of spoils it and ruins the public opinion of it. And now a lot of people hate this game, even though you put your heart and soul into it, making it as wonderful for the consumer as you could, and now some people higher up have arguably ruined it for you. So it's not always up to them. I definitely agree with you on that point, and I think the people from Galaxy of Heroes overall are doing a pretty good job. Overall, I think they're doing a pretty good job. I'm just gonna say it there.
Yeah, I also agree that, they do a great job, and that's why I like playing the game. I'm not playing it to, spend money, even though I do spend money here and there, depending on the importance of it. As well as sometimes I need to make sure I have my guild 600. But for the most part, I actually just play the game for the fun and the enjoyment of collecting heroes of the Star Wars universe. So hopefully, and yes, I could see where some of it can be improved, but of course, like Nickar said, it's the people above the marketing team that has that kind of control, which, hopefully they notice some of these, a lot of the craziness going on and kind of work it out a bit, but still, I think it's great the way it is too. Well, with certain improvements needed.
Yeah, we can. We talked about that last time. We can speculate. We've got all kinds of amazing things that we think should be added to the game, but not all of them will be added. But whatever. Oh, that one's got an X on it. Okay, I want to attack there. I'll attack this one. Let's see if I can clear out this stage, guys. I think I have enough squad. Yeah, I think I can do this by myself.
Whoa, was that top team? Vader lead with Revis.
Someone just had shit to throw away.
Yeah, I kind of want to save. I think what happens in these territory battles is that a lot of people just throw a bunch of crappy squads as defense squads, and then everyone saves their best squads for attacking. So that what ends up happening is you send your this roided out team that can kill really high tier squads, and you're just fighting these kind of guys.
Yeah, this guy Justin Williams, he really did a number on the other guild by throwing in all those crap teams.
Justin Williams. You know what? I might have to wipe the board with you, but let me. Should I?
Do you have a topper lead?
Do you think I should attack this back one, Nickar, and try to finish this one, or do you want me to start on this forward point?
Go mid.
Go mid. Okay.
Yeah, clear it out so we can get at least the back points first.
Okay, so even if I have to spend some of my good squads, I wonder if I could just send.
The back is worth the most. So if we clear out the back, it's better to work through it and then to go down to the bottom.
Dude, I want to see. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna have some extra characters. So
you could probably solo that with Savage.
Can I please? Yes.
You probably could. You probably could.
I'm gonna try it. Okay, here we go. You will all die. I have to kill this guy first. Oh my gosh, they're going to die. Fear me, all will fear me and despair. Oh my gosh, you're all going to die.
You could probably auto the rest, honestly.
Yeah, here we go. This is, you know what? I wanted to see if I could set like Zeta Savage secretly as like a solo defense team. Like I was thinking I kind of want to play some mind games in the territory wars. I want to set a team of like basically all bad characters except put Zeta Savage in there. And then I'll try to like hide him,
sneaky.
like maybe put like put him with a bunch of tanks or something, so the health and protection comes out to be the same, so they think, oh, it's just a bunch of crappy ones, like they don't even have like a good leader or something, or maybe it's just Zeta Savage and then like some other characters. So yeah, it is sneaky. So once you get in there, like, oh crap, he's a Zeta. So then you end up wasting a squad, and then you have to send in like some good people to actually kill him. I want to try that next one. I forgot to do it this territory war. Let's see. How about these guys?
Hey, can you check really quick on my defensive squad? I know it was holding really strong.
Yeah, I saw that
on our side.
That's great. Okay, let's check this.
They went through a lot. It says
Oh, look at this. Someone took out everyone except Ray and R2.
Nice.
It's a bitch team to beat.
Yeah, I saw that and I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't want to fight that.
No wonder why you guys are winning.
So we've got that.
Yeah, I mean, they only have to take out.
What do we got
They
down
only
here?
have to take out 2 more though, so it'll happen.
I said a bunch of. I just spammed like a bunch of squads. I think down in here, just to. If you just spam a bunch of squads, also like it forces people to spend a bunch of squads, so they might not have as many squads. I also put a good defense team like this. My arena team. I put my arena team in here.
Oh yeah, there he is.
So
Well, some people, I know some people probably actually put some good teams as defense, and then they have kind of crappy teams as offense. So, or kind of a mix of both. So it's difficult. But if you're actually one person that's playing since the beginning and you are a whale, you're gonna have like all these good teams that you could throw in as defense and offense, and maybe your Jawa team will beat a crappier version of a Chase Wiggs team. Who knows? Because they're just low gear rating versus like gear 12 Jawas. Just a thought.
Yeah. It is. I think the territory wars, the mind games have not been fully developed out yet. I still think there's a lot more stuff that can be done to really kind of milk it and help ensure victory. But I don't think either I'm not seeing it yet, or people haven't quite figured it out yet. And I think some of those mind games with like throwing the Zeta Savage in there to trick people, I think more of that needs to happen.
Yeah, I heard 2 really good strategies that I am hesitant to share on the air, but I'll do it anyway because it's unlikely. It's unlikely that anyone listening will face us. So whatever.
We don't have too many listeners anyway, so like just do it.
So one strategy I heard was to put a wall of Phoenix teams on the same node, so that way they extinguish everyone who's strong against that kind of character, and they have really good survivability. So if you're like having this onslaught of just they waste all their good teams trying to take out Phoenix, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people have Phoenix because they try for Thrawn. Now you could put that on the very, very front on the top, and then on the very, very front on the bottom, you put a bunch of Zetaed Rogue One teams, because they are also really good on defense, right? If you have a Zeta Gen,
I hate fighting them.
Chase and Cassian and K2, like that is a bitch team to beat. And if you have a full roster of those, boy, oh boy, your opponents are in trouble, and they probably won't even get past the first phase. And then you could just use your crap squads to like clean out the rest. So that might be something we want to try going forward. But we'd have to get people to invest in the Zetas, and that's a lot to ask of people.
Yeah,
but the Phoenix.
The Phoenix idea sounds really good. Like they're still really survivable without the Zetas, but when you actually Zeta the Phoenix, they're probably a lot more survivable, especially with Kanan's cleanse.
Yeah. I tried to direct our guild to do it last time, and we got a couple people, but it's just so hard to organize a big group of people like this. So it's, we can try to keep
socializing the idea and seeing if that works.
Yeah, definitely. It is hard, and that's something Anditesh and I talked about last time. One of the big things that I think is going to be coming to the game is more community-focused updates that help make organizing community stuff a lot easier. Because that's something that's kind of lacking in the game, where we have to go to outside apps like Discord and stuff to help organize. And also, like in our guild, we're more of a laid-back guild. We're not super about, like, we're not...
It's mid-tier, yeah.
Yeah, we're not ticket Nazis, but we also require a certain amount of participation so we can do stuff like the heroic tank raid.
Yeah.
So it is kind of like in the middle about it. Let's see. Gotta kill these guys. Maybe a little rebel team. I don't really care.
I wouldn't mind seeing that strategy in play, though. Like, you get a good group of people that actually have, or like a good guild that has like at least half of the guild is like full of nothing but Zeta Phoenix, and you just shut down those teams.
Yeah.
I think it'd be kind of insane to see, because everyone's going to be like, well, you got to face Rogue One on here, you got to face, and then they could also add, like, if it's a good enough guild, one of the next tiers would actually have like the Jedi Ray combo, and then
Yeah.
like old Ben, Ray, Kenobi, is it R2 and BB-8? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have a good guild that has that kind of team building, oh yeah. And then have some random Luke Skywalker team with Han and Wiggs and like Stormtrooper Han on another phase where they're all the same. I think that would be kind of an insane, because even though you have like 50, I think the max is what, 23 or something.
25. Yeah.
Oh, is it 25? Oh, I guess it depends on the number of people that have participated.
Yeah, it's half of however many people sign up, rounded down.
Or the first, if that's the case, then if you have all 50 that have Phoenix, the first 2 are nothing but Phoenix, and the next 2 are nothing but Rogue One.
Oh, that would be insane. Like, nobody would freaking get through that.
It is an interesting strategy. And then maybe like the third tier is Zeta Mall teams, which they could still be really good, especially if you've wasted like some of your good characters just beating the first 2 phases. So,
as far as the mind games go, I think you're onto something. I like the idea of forcing people to waste certain squads to beat certain squads, and then right after that, once they're done with that, they throw in a bunch of defensive squads where they're like, oh crap, I just used all those characters to get rid of those guys. Now how am I going to take on these guys?
Yeah. Yeah, it could be a really fun defense.
Let's see. I think, you know what, for attacking this next group, I think I can only bring in a few characters to take them out. I want to see if I can do that. So what if I just take in like these 2? You think I can kill everyone with these 2?
What was the teams?
Let's see. So I can fight Vader, lead, the weird one, and then this one. Let's try the Vader one. So the Vader one looks like it's going to be really easy to beat. Do you think I can beat it with what characters?
Even easier with like 2 characters. You just got to make sure you kill Daka and Elder before you kill anyone.
Yeah, there's a lot of... I wouldn't try the bottom with those 2, because you can... I mean, you'd have to rely on RNG for the stun from Palpatine.
Well, you could probably run in like a third character near the bottom, like Sidious.
Sidious would be a good one.
On the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I'll... okay, then I'll bring in another 2. Maybe someone who can take out...
Wait, was there... On that bottom team, was there any Jedi?
We have Daka, TIE Pilot, Asajj, Ewok Elder, and then Bodhi.
Oh man, just using Palpatine and Sidious and maybe
Thrawn.
Thrawn or maybe another character. Maybe save Thrawn for another team, but maybe another character. You
So-
could probably
Palpatine,
Like-
Sidious, and maybe fives, just to be a something.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad unless you went to the.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you're running out.
Yeah, you're
That
running
might
out of
actually.
people.
I'm just gonna try it.
Very.
Your opponent's gauge
Oh,
battle. Okay, so someone's fighting him. Oh, so I'll just do this squad then. The Vader squad. I can definitely beat those with those 3 people that I just showed in there. In fact, I think I want to make Sidious lead because let's see what he's got. Crit chance, crit damage, Sith allies gain offense. Whatever. I can beat it. I know I can beat it. You watch and learn. Oh my god, they're such noobs. Actually, they have a lot more protection than I thought they would.
Oh yeah. Well.
Oh crap!
Vader-
I brought Rex. I thought I was bringing 5s. Oh, whatever.
Well, I throw tenacity up. That way, it protects against.
Yeah.
Oof. Oof.
Oh,
Gone.
he dodged. Wow. Oh, look at that. Get resisted, noob.
Jedi's gone. Oh,
I killed
God.
Ben first because I'm crazy. Yeah, you guys got nothing.
man.
He has a taunt?
Soundbox?
Oh, it's Grievous
Or
and Taunt.
Oh, okay. Just auto it. There you go. 3 characters.
Well played.
I might have been able to do less, but maybe just Palpatine
Yeah.
and actually I don't
Better
know.
not to chance it though.
Yeah, you don't want to lose characters unnecessarily. All right, we defeated that one. Let's see, what do we got? The back has 11 out of
Makes me wonder-
14. I can't do any more of those because I set 2 for defense. But oh, someone beat your team. Finally.
Oh shit. Oh,
They probably had
man.
to use like a full squad to take him out though. Got
Probably.
back here. I think I threw a bunch of squads in here. Let's see. We got Mace Windu thrown a bunch. I put my Ewok squad. My big
I
squad.
like that top squad on your guys' side.
Oh yeah, they what? All right, you can do that if you want. We've got a decent clone squad. We got Then I threw a bunch of squads. I threw 2 Jedi squads.
Nice.
My
Can you
Misfit
beat the
squad.
Endor escalation, by the way,
I did once.
with those Ewoks.
I did once, but I decided that it's too much work for not enough rewards. You only get like 10 shards for Wicket. I
That's
just
where
don't
I'm at,
care.
too. The only reason why I'm wanting to do it now is every time you complete the bonus one, you get a Zeta.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's like
Wait,
another.
every time?
Every time it comes up and you complete the bonus one, you get a Zeta. So I think the first time you get 2 Zetas. So that's the only reason, because that's another income for Zetas, which is the reason why for Talzin, I've been refreshing every time and doing both.
Moment of silence. Everyone, take a moment of silence. Very well. All right, let's move
Sad
on.
horns.
Sad horns. Do you think should I try to take out this back squad? Let's check what do we got in here. In progress, Falcon Eyes doing some work. Taking out there. We got
There's a.
First Order squad.
I have a Night Sister squad with Fulcrum in it.
Oh, I see that. That's interesting. Who do you
And
think I
then the
should
top
kill?
squad
Because I
looks
still got some good
interesting to me.
squads. I can take out the hard guys. If we need to take out any hard guys, I can do it.
You got
Oh.
Jawas you could probably beat because they're not even 85.
By the way, I finally got my Night Sister cheese up over 6,000, so now I can just send in Zombie and Acolyte,
Oh, sweet.
and probably freaking wreck a team. Maybe have Newt as leader because he'll automatically stealth all of them, but like it will wreck a team.
Nice.
I'm kind of tempted
Hey,
to try
I have a-
it.
Oh,
I
there's
have
some
an
good
interesting.
there's some good teams here, Nickar. Should I start trying to take out some of these guys? Because
Go for the back.
Go for the back?
Because
Okay.
yeah, we got to take out that back territory for the most points.
Oh, really? Okay, then.
Yeah, look, it's worth twice as many points as
Oh,
the other territory.
that's how. Okay, I'm glad I have you there. You're our most competent officer. And can I just say, I think I said this on the Anditesh stream, or the stream I did last, the one with the cooking thumbnail or whatever. But you're a fantastic guild officer because you're involved and you are, yeah, just like being involved, and you're a fantastic guild officer. You do stuff.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah, I try. I mean, it's always fun when we actually win as a group, right? And so if someone can help facilitate that, I am more than happy to do it because everyone has fun when you win.
Absolutely. As far as, I guess I'll bring BB-8. All right, so I think I'm gonna take out this this squad because they look fairly buff.
Wait, what squad was it?
Oh crap! I don't think they're as buff as I thought they were. Oh, whatever. Let's see. I gotta put daze on someone. Ezra, no counterattacking. Ah. Here we go.
So here's an interesting concept. I want to hear your guys' opinion on what you think, how you think Savage would work is if he also cleansed for Night Sisters.
Oh,
Because,
interesting.
because he did in the Clone Wars TV series, he worked for Night Sisters first, then Sith, then Night Sisters, kind of, and Sith again.
Yeah, I agree. There needs to be some synergy there, and with Maul too, but then not with Maul.
You want a Maul team running around stealthing the whole? I didn't think they'd have to make another Maul to make him synergize.
Yeah, like Robo Legs Maul.
Yeah.
I want him to be called exactly that.
Darth Maul, Robo Legs.
Robo Legs Maul.
Actually, his canonical name I think is just Maul at that point. He's no longer a Darth, right?
He's just a.
Do they refer to
noob.
him as Darth Maul? I'm pretty sure they
Maul.
just refer
I
to
think
him
it's
as
the
Maul.
Rebels. The Rebels Maul is just a Maul. He's no longer Darth, but
See, and I feel like that would be more likely that they would introduce that into the game because it's current, or at least more current. No spoilers.
yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, that like I did a video on it to where we got all these heroes journeys. Let's do like a villain's journey or something. And Darth Maul would be perfect to have two events go around, and one to get the Clone Wars Maul, where he has like the dark saber and his red saber, and then we have the Rebels Maul where he has that one staff saber again. So that's one of the videos I actually did on my what ifs.
Yeah.
So it's a good idea because it gives us another like some dark side characters, and the Clone Wars Maul would also synergize with Savage.
Do you like this tank that I just made? It's kind of fun. Just like experimenting with different squads. Like, can I get away with doing this? I haven't really done this before.
Okay, so that team with Jin and Han below, I'm gonna try my Night Sister cheese, and we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna just do my Night Sister cheese with Newt lead. We'll see how that goes.
Another thing I want to do on this live stream is see if I can get screens of like you guys on it. Like if you guys can do like Discord, show like your screen on Discord. Wow, I wrecked these guys. If you guys can show your screen in Discord, I might be able to show that actually on the live stream so we can see what you're doing, except the latency is going to be at least 10 seconds. It'll be a longer latency.
I tried to get that working last time, but I couldn't. So,
okay.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to, unfortunately. So.
Oh, okay. Well, then we can just have the same stupid live stream anyway, and then I'll be sad.
Well, the thing is until I get a better get my PC set up working for recording, I'm gonna still be continue using my tablet. So maybe after that, we could probably do something like that. But until then, I got what I got. Unfortunately, interesting team.
Okay, I only have 5 characters left. Do you think I could take out this Night Sister team? So we've got these
What's
guys.
the one with the highest power?
Oh yeah, let me check that. 67. No, he's dead. 63.
You got
63, the
Cad
Jawa
Bane
squad.
one?
The Jawa
You
squad
got
is
the
63.
Jawa squad.
Okay, well, Jawas are easy.
And you got Thrawn to like deal with Nibbit.
I think I could take him out, but you guys help me. Who do you think I should have as lead?
Is your bear stated?
No, not yet.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah,
not
that
even
might-
my Thrawn is zated. I'm such a scrub. I'm such a dirty not pay.
I don't have Thrawn stated either, so don't feel bad on that one.
He's on my to zeta list, and he's high on my to zeta list.
You can
Oh,
probably
but
take the Jawas easily.
I can
I'm
kill
gonna
the.
pit my Night Sisters against this other Night Sister squad. I think that'll be fair.
Okay, then I'll kill the Jawas, I guess. I'll do the dirty work. I think I should have. I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna do Lando as lead for damage for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So my
damage.
wife is actually watching. My wife is actually watching through one of her devices, tablet or her phone. So, because she just replied, I'm like, the heck? I don't remember saying that. But yeah.
Wait,
Yeah, I know we'll want to finish this up here soon, though.
yes, we do.
I got to get ready for work.
Yeah. Actually, what time is it? 8:30. Yeah. So
9:30 here.
before. Oh yeah. I have to leave before 9, or be done with it before 9. But I mean, it's fairly successful so far. We did a lot of. Actually, I'm just gonna turn this on auto. I'm completely confident.
Now, you could have used Akbar's lead, because then you got Lando and Akbar assisting when Barris healed there.
Well, you know what? It looks like I'm gonna win anyway, so maybe it doesn't matter, Mr. Anditesh.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't matter.
Look at that Lando's wrecking face. Yeah, you punch that Jawa, Thrawn.
Punch kick it.
Give him the old 1-2.
Yeah.
How's the night?
So no, I'm gonna kind of go back to the subject really quick with the synergy with Savage and Night Sisters, is because if you think about it, Savage is special ability would be really good with Night Sisters, because all the draining of the health with Plague
Oh yeah.
under a Talisman lead.
Mm.
And then it would also keep things cleansed, like if you didn't get your zombie, you maxed out your zombie too far, you could also keep her cleansed so she could keep taunting while you're also cleansing other characters. And he's still a very, formidable threat. And if he dies early, he could still get revived with Daka. So, there's that concept there. That's why I've always thought it'd be kind of cool to see Savage actually have that ability. Savage versus the rest. I would take out Fett really quick, though.
Oh
Fett
yeah,
could
you
be
want
a
me to
threat
take out
against
Fett?
Savage.
I'll do that.
Yeah, his execute. His execute, if you have too many health over times, will destroy him.
There you go. I don't know, Zeta Savage, he's still fun, and I used him in the part 1 of the Heroic Rancor raid. For some reason, with the squads, with the Heroic Rancor raid, Heroic Tank raid, with the Heroic Tank raid, they're very underwhelming. Like, I looked up all the strategies online, like, oh, use this squad, and you can get all this millions of damage using this. And I tried, but they was very underwhelming. Like, I'm doing a lot less damage, even though I pretty much have the same squad with similar mods. And it's still really difficult. So I was pretty disappointed.
Yeah, I was kind
Yeah.
of disappointed too, because they said you can get through phase 3 with the team that I was running, which is Jedi Training Rey, BB-8, CLS, Thrawn, and R2 on auto, and just our engine
RNG was fucking me pretty bad. Like I had done it 4 times at that point, and I was like, oh, God, well, I can't like sit here and do this all night. And I just had to submit damage and call it done, and hopefully it was like enough. Hopefully next time we run the raid, I can actually RNG enough times to like get through all of it. And I am in the process of gearing up my Thrawn, so hopefully that'll help. Like pretty much everybody else is gear 11 or 12. Just Thrawn is a little low.
Yeah, Thrawn is definitely super helpful. What I found, actually, the squad I used. Let me see. I'll just put it up here real quick, but I won't play them. The squad I used was it's really fun to play, but it's not great on defense, but it's unbelievably amazing on offense. Let's see. So it's an Akbar lead with Zeta, Han, and then CLS, and then you got BB-8 and Thrawn, and basically it just abuses Akbar's ability where whenever they use an ability that isn't an attack, they call an assist. So basically BB-8, every time he does his thing, he calls an assist. Akbar, you just try to spam his assists, and then the only rebels that are assisting are 90% of the time it's either CLS or Han. So you just get stupid amounts of damage. And I did
And one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say one team I do is you kind of swap. Well, it was before I had Commander Luke. Is I had Akbar, Han Solo, and then I had Shore Trooper, BB-8, and Thrawn. Shore Trooper, you know, he taunts, he heals, but he also calls the assist as well. And so you got.
He attack, but he also protect.
Yeah. and if not like, then there's also another team where it's like Akbar. Instead of Thrawn, you use General Kenobi. So you got 2 tanks, and you're always going to be hitting a bunch with Han Solo. So it's like Akbar, BB-8, Han, and then the 2 tanks, Shore and General Kenobi.
Shore Trooper is amazing. I'm working on gearing him, and Anditesh is working on gearing him, or it's giving him more stars.
Yeah, I'm working on him too. What are you at?
I'll check after this battle. I think he's at 5 stars? Maybe 6?
Yeah,
I think he's at 5.
I'm at 2. That's where I'm at 2. I'm 27 out of 85 right now.
I'm
also working on Krennic too.
I'm working on getting us an Imperial Trooper, or getting me an Imperial Trooper. I also have Stark at 5 stars, so I can get us some probe shards soon. Maybe the next time.
Yep, that's what I've been working on.
Okay, awesome.
I'm at 49 out of 100, so I'm close, but it's taking a while. You only get like 1 or 2 a day.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this battle, guys. It's just like the Master versus the Apprentice. Oh, it looks like the Apprentice is winning.
I am happy though. Like our guild has slowly been getting Hoth Han, and we've been working towards that. It's going to be especially more important, especially since the territory battles have been a little bit far and few between recently. So getting those Rolo shards and Imperial probe droid shards are going to be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 5 Wampa shards? Oh, because they gave free 5 Wampa shards.
Yeah.
So that made you feel special, but it doesn't really mean much.
You need to unlock Captain Han. What are you doing?
I don't care.
I'm surprised.
I don't care.
But Rolo's going to be needed for Jedi Luke.
Crap.
And then you're going to be sad. You're going to be real sad.
Oh,
Ooh, that might be a thing. But they probably won't do that for probably until maybe the end of next year. Or this year, I mean. They probably will add.
Yeah, you're going to need Hermit Yoda, which is not unlocked, Captain Han, who's not unlocked, and Rebel Officer Leia, who is not unlocked.
And then probably R2.
And then probably Lobot, which is also not unlocked.
We're going to need like 13 7-star Lobots as a guild to unlock him. And we have to put them in the platoon missions. And then we'll also have to throw in Jedi Ray, because now they're requiring Jedi Ray for certain places. Someone in the chat is asking, how do I have all my money? If you guys haven't seen, I have a lot of credits that I haven't spent. Why don't you zoom in there and see?
Yeah, I had close to 80 grand before Jedi Ray, and then I and CLS, and I just blew it all on those two.
If I want all that money to go away, I can make it go away right now. I can just upgrade people to 85 and then give them all mods, and it's all gone. I can spend it right now. I could do like Night Sister Zombie.
Oh,
I would do.
Hey, quick
ahead.
tip. If you want to increase your galactic power, you could probably get up to 2 million by taking all those level 1s to level 50. It's very inexpensive to do, and then gearing them up until like you have tons of white pieces. Just gear them up to like the last tier of green or the first tier of blue, and it will give you a lot of galactic power, which will help us in these territory wars, because then you have more characters to use, and it will also put us maybe in the next bracket for better rewards.
Wow, great advice. I actually might do that. I think
check it out. It's really not that expensive to do either. I did it a while back. My roster is all at minimum level 50 and with the first tier of blue gear.
Yeah, usually. Yeah, I usually do like if I want to farm or level up characters to level 50, I kind of do that, but I just max out the gear because a lot of the times the gear goes up to a certain, I think it's like gear 5 or 6 or something like that when it gets close to the purple, and then it just stops because you need level 6. You need to be level 60 or something to get the next level. So it is good for that, but also I think it also change the Galactic War, because I think Galactic War is based off of galactic power, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We would actually be put into the next bracket up, where we get
not
better
Territory
rewards.
War, Galactic War.
Oh, Galactic War. Oh, I don't know how that works now. They reworked it, so I mean it's been easy every day, so it shouldn't be that big of an issue.
Yeah, I've only lost ever since it's been up, I've lost like 3 characters. Unless I was trying to goof off team, then I lost maybe a few more.
Yeah. See, so we're at 36 million GP right now. If we get to 40 million GP, we get to break that.
Better
mark.
Rewards. Ooh.
Yeah. But I mean, part of that will come when we accept more guild members.
Yes, I was thinking we barely managed to beat that tank raid, just barely. Hopefully we'll get better RNG next time, but also it's going to get easier, I think, if we accept some more people and some of those people are able to contribute a bit more.
I just took someone in tonight, by the way.
Oh, you did?
And I said welcome in the chat. Yeah, I saw them and they were over 1 million GP, and I thought,
oh, was that the guy with the Jedi squad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, well, I mean, I guess it's better. He is over 1 million. I'm sure he'll get better soon, like when the new characters start, or like the better characters like R2 and stuff come around again. I bet they'll be able to get him by then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, you know what? I think it seems like a good place to kind of call it for tonight. We did talk about quite a bit today. We talked about all that sort of loot boxes and gambling and controversy kind of around the beginning, and then we didn't really play our game, but honestly I don't know, I'm kind of okay with it. Maybe we'll play it another time. It's definitely a fun exercise to do and helps you be a little more clear and concise if you're doing speeches, live streams, stuff like that. It definitely helps, or even like improv. It does help you a little bit more. But
there's 3 points there for.
it's definitely fun, and also makes you more self-conscious about what words you're using. And we could also go even more in depth with it if you want to do the same thing, but using the words like, anyway, similar words like that.
But
you'll find that you use those words a lot too. So trying to eliminate them and think of like different words that you could use. Like there, I used like, and I didn't need to use it there. And I used and I didn't need to put it there. Thinking of different words you could use in place of those words does help you sound a little bit more concise it does take practice and it is difficult, and it makes for a fun game. But you know, we don't have, and also saying that's a good one. I tend to use a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I use that a lot.
you use a lot.
Yep. I don't know if I do it a lot in the videos, but when I'm talking to people, yeah. I just used it there.
Anyway, let's just kind of end it. Let's do our guest plugs and end it, because I also have to go to the bathroom so badly. My bladder is like 98% full, dudes. I am gonna have to, when I sit down, when I go to the toilet, I'm gonna be there for like a solid 2 minutes before I'm done. So anyway,
Hydrate.
All right.
I hydrated, and I also drank a nice tall glass of whiskey and Coke, so that doesn't help with the bathroom situation. So let's start trying to wrap it up. So let's go with Nickar. So Nickar, if people enjoyed you during the stream and might want to think about some other, or might want to see some other content that you've made, where are they going to be able to find that?
Sure. So we are all over social media at Human Factors Cast. We have a Slack channel where you can come and talk all the interesting things that we talked about on the show, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. Again, we're at humanfactorscast.com. And me personally, you can follow me at Nick_Rome. That's ROOME. So on LinkedIn or Twitter. So yeah. We'd really appreciate it if you reviewed us on Apple Podcasts or Google Play Store, or wherever you find podcasts. We're there, and you can find us. If you want to hear more interesting topics, kind of like the loot box, we talked about that on the show, and maybe some other interesting things like New York is tackling unfair biases in automated city services, and San Diego just installed some smart streetlights to monitor the metropolis. So we talked about those on the show this week too. So you can always find us there.
Oh, and speaking of rating the podcast, I'm going to do that. I think it's a pretty quality podcast, so I'm going to give it a nice rating there myself. I'll see if I can do that before I go to bed. All right.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. I think we should help each other out whenever we can. So also, we've this other guest, Anditesh Ordo. So glad I can have you on. You're always tons of fun, and I love just geeking out and speculating about you, or about various stuff that Galaxy of Heroes can come out with. Hey, you know what? You don't judge me. So anyway, if people want to get a little bit more of Anditesh Ordo in their lives, where can they get that?
Say what? I think you cut out.
Oh, sorry about that. All right. So if people want to get a little bit more of Anditesh Ordo in their lives, where can they get that?
Well, right now, the only thing I have right now that I use is YouTube, and that's the Anditesh Ordo channel that you see on screen. So definitely check that out. Look into a lot of videos. I'm still working on improving my videos in the near future. And until then, I'm gonna, use what I use. So, but I do love speculating with Star Wars: Galaxy of Heroes. I do have plans for doing more subjects with Star Wars. I'm actually even gonna start doing some subjects with like Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Z and many other different subjects. So, yeah, definitely.
Oh wait, I think you said definitely, and then I think it cut out.
Lots of dropouts tonight.
Oh God! Wait, I hear you, Nick, but I don't hear Anditesh.
Your turn.
Oh, there it is. I hear you now. Oh, whew. Okay. Whew. All right. So that's where you can find Anditesh, and he's got some cool stuff. Please check it out. And it's mostly Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes related, but he's got some other stuff in there too, if that interests you. Concerning myself, so I like to do this kind of stuff once in a while. I think it's fun. I also kind of use it as a little bit of an excuse to practice editing, because I am a video/photo editor in training. I'm kind of teaching myself the ropes. I'm using a lot of learn by doing sort of example. So I've been using a lot of video game type stuff as just excuses to edit. The live streams, not so much. It does help, like making the little thumbnails is fun, preparing and that kind of stuff, like making the intros. So if I do live streams about other stuff, which I'm starting to have ideas for other live streams, like one-off, spin-off things that I only do like one time and then never again. I'm having a few ideas for that kind of stuff where I can make custom intros and screens for that. And I think that's good practice, because the more I make, the more I'm learning. So I think that's interesting. If any of that sounds interesting, well, my YouTube channel is basically where I am. I also have a Facebook page, but I rarely update it, and I think I might just delete that one just because I hate Facebook and they throttle YouTube views, so I'd rather just not use it. I enjoy YouTube a little bit more. YouTube is the place where I just dump all my creative outputs. So if you guys, or if anyone listening would like to see any of the creative stuff that I put out, this is the place to do it. Some of it will be comedy with sketches. A lot of it will probably be video game based. Some of it will be portfolio based, and some of it will be some music that I've done before. And it's nothing too crazy, just fun little things that I like to do. So if any of that sounds interesting, go ahead and check it out. Otherwise, that's about it. Music today. Let's talk about the music today. I had some music playing in the background. Music today is brought to you by this live stream. It's 24/7 lo-fi hip hop kind of a channel, and I've enjoyed this one. It's a nice little lo-fi hip hop's a nice little thing to kind of have in the background. It's not too offensive on the ears. It's very chill. So having something like that kind of play in the background is nice. So if people like the music, I also have the artists on the bottom. So if any of those songs you're like, oh, that's kind of cool, I'd like to listen to that, please check that out. There is one song I've heard on that playlist that is so good. I could honestly listen to it for several hours every day and never get sick of it. I love it. And also, one way I like to practice music is I'll just play like a lo-fi hip-hop channel like that and just like improvise bass along with every song as it comes on. That's really fun. But anyway, that's gonna do it. That's gonna that's gonna be it for us today. I'm very concise. I'm glad I host podcasts.
It's okay. It's not easy.
It's not easy, but I don't know. It always sounds better in my head. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for us today. We talked about a lot of stuff. It was fun. And you know what? If anyone wants to come hang out with us next time, that's fun. Come do that. I'll try to be better about reading the comments a little bit. We did have a few comments, but nothing too crazy. Otherwise, that wraps it up. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Everybody say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.